What's up everybody, AnimeX here, and in this video I'll be doing my first Boruto chapter prediction video. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is because, well, the last chapter of Boruto was interesting, and it was definitely an attention grabber, and if you want my complete take on the last part, whether I liked it, whether I hated it, or whether it got me more invested in the series, I'll leave a link to the review I did yesterday in the top right hand corner and in the description below. Anyways, with that last chapter being pretty intense and the next chapter possibly being a little bit more serious and solemn, I thought it'd be a good time for me to take a little break from what ifs maybe and talk about Boruto for a little bit. So, it'd be a good time for me to make a video talking about what I think the plot could go from here. So, let's jump right into it. So, the way I'm going to kind of do this is I'm going to break up a few of my predictions into parts. So it'll be about 3 parts in this video. But the first thing that I want to go over, like the first prediction that I want to talk about basically is about Naruto and what I think is going to happen to him in the next coming chapters. And it's going to be, I think, at its most displayed in the next maybe chapter 39 and chapter 40. And I guess this kind of affects the overall plot of Boruto as well. But we see that in the last chapter, Naruto has been sealed by Jigen. So I find it likely that he won't be killed by Jigen for multiple reasons. One of the big ones is the fact that I believe the authors are keeping him around for a bigger moment in order for him to die there, rather than die uneventful or off screen like here. I also feel like it would be a waste of opportunity if they decide to kill him off when they can turn his rescue into a situation into a long running thing, or maybe they get their gear and they get ready to retrieve him, although I'll talk about that in more depth a little bit later. We also see that Jigen is very weak, or at least Ishiki Otsutsuki thinks so, and in his words, Naruto is too troublesome to kill, even though he could just chop his head off or do something like that. But in his words, he thinks Naruto is too troublesome to kill, so I think Naruto will stay sealed, nice and cozy in that black seashell until he is possibly saved by Sasuke and some others. Now, Naruto may get shown interacting with Kurama a little bit in the next chapter, like maybe they give some exposition on what's going to happen, that type of thing, an exposition dump. But I don't think that Naruto is going to be a big factor for at least the next couple of chapters in Boruto. So overall, I think Naruto will be sealed, but otherwise safe and a driving force for the plot. Now, the second thing that I kind of want to go over is just Sasuke and just to what extent he's been injured. So I think that Sasuke's injuries could possibly lead to the fact that he can barely move even after receiving medical aid from Sakura, because we've seen that Sakura is going to basically be able to heal him, right? We see that it's kind of foreshadowed, almost directly shown that Sakura is going to be the one that finds Sasuke first and the one that heals and brings him back to full health. Although I do think that Sasuke is not going to be able to just get right back into the action just like Naruto would. In case you guys forgot or just haven't seen this part of the chapter, but if you remember correctly, Sasuke was pierced and punctured by those black chakra rods on multiple occasions. Keep in mind that Sasuke can't heal or recover the same way that Naruto can, so him being stabbed and penetrated like that is not okay. He even says that the damage is too much for him, right? This also implies the fact that he might not be able to take much more or be able to really withstand much of Jigen's attacks at that state. Although we do see that Sasuke is heavily injured, we see that he lands near Sakura, so this is kind of foreshadowing, like I said before, to him being healed by Sakura, and Sakura maybe even being of use to help bolster the forces of the Leaf Village. So we might get to see that Naruto and Sasuke get help from Sakura, so we might see Team 7, or at least the old Team 7, get right back into the action once again. So we might see Sakura get some action in the upcoming chapters, although I think chapter 39 will mainly be Sakura wondering what's happening to Sasuke, and Sasuke's kind of catching up on the story while he's being healed. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is kind of one of the bigger things, along with the fourth thing, but that's kind of Kawaki's and Boruto's reaction to this. Now, the third thing, and possibly the main thing that I want to talk about, that will occur in the chapter, is we'll probably get to see that Boruto and Kawaki are going to freak out in the next chapter. And when I say freak out, I mean they're going to freak out quite heavily. We already see an inkling of Kawaki's expression in the manga chapter that just came out yesterday. Kawaki's like, no, not the 7th Hokage. So, I mean, we see that Kawaki, even without all the car facts, is worried about what's going to happen to Naruto and how that will interact with him. I think this will be expanded on quite a bit in the next chapter, and we'll even see that Kawaki maybe asks or gets angry with Sasuke on why he left him and didn't save Naruto, just because we see that Kawaki has such a great relationship with him. And I think Boruto might get home and at the end of the chapter be like, oh, my dad's in a different dimension sealed away. That's not good, as you would react. And that will probably be how the chapter ends. So I think this might lead to Kawaki starting to resent Sasuke, and this might lead to Boruto starting to take Sasuke's side just because he realizes that Sasuke would not leave his father without a good reason or without his father wanting him to. So I think this would kind of draw a line in the sand between Boruto and Kawaki, although I think this would be kind of like the originator of their feud or their beef with each other, I think this would make Kawaki and Boruto's relationship go somewhat sour, although they obviously will still be growing as people. This may lead to what we saw in the beginning of Boruto, so the next two chapters may just be the beginning of the end for the Boruto series, so it's possible endgame territory is in hand. Now, the fourth thing that I think is going to be brought up, and like since we're talking in terms of endgame, is going to be kind of the fact that Naruto might be involved or might be setting in motion kind of the beginning of the end. Like I said, endgame territory might be in hand. This is just due to the reason that, right, everything seems to be lined up. Naruto seems to be in a different dimension, right? And he seems to be sealed, which would lead to what Kawaki said, the 7th Hokage is not here anymore. The only thing that's not matching up right now is their ages, which may be the biggest problem. But I think that Naruto is still setting in motion something that's really big that's going to happen, right? So I think this will lead to kind of like a Naruto retrieval mini arc. It's not going to take up a whole arc's length, but I think they will be trying to prepare in order to retrieve Naruto, maybe getting Sasuke once he gets back to full strength, and Boruto and Kawaki maybe getting ready to head towards the other dimension again in order to try to save him. The reason I say this is partially just because there's no way that Naruto could get out of there unless Ishiki decides to let him out, or Jigen, I should say, decides to let him out. There's no way that they can get in there. Sasuke is the only one that could get in and out of that seal. And it makes sense. It would push the plot forward if Kawaki and Jigen had another fight after Jigen already sealed away Naruto, which would make Kawaki, and along with Boruto, being bloodlusted and being extremely angry with Jigen at the moment. So this could lead to some pretty interesting interactions. It might also lead to Kawaki getting his body possessed by Ishiki Otsutsuki, or at least becoming a vessel for him. And that may lead to kind of some more endgame territory. And that, everybody, is all the predictions that I have for Boruto Chapter 39 and some of the implications that we'll see in the coming chapters after that. If new info comes into the mix, I'll make sure to make a video on that, updating my predictions or just giving you guys an update on the Boruto situation as a whole. I might be making another Boruto video actually tomorrow based on some new information that I got today, but as of right now, these are my theories on how Chapter 39 is going to turn out, and actually how the plot of Boruto is going to turn out for a while. So let me know your own personal theories of what's going to happen next in the next chapter, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, this is Anime X, signing off.